Hello, Roots family. Pastor Oshita here.
Pastor TC.
Hey, we are coming to you because we're really excited. Lots of things are changing in our country, in our community, and here at Roots. Mainly because the seasons are changing. Also, the vaccine rollout has been quite effective. Many of us in our church are vaccinated or planning to be. And so we are now entering into a season of discernment with the leadership team about what does the near future of Roots gatherings look like? Specifically, we're only really thinking about the spring and the summer for right now, but we really want to know what it is that you all need and what you're hoping to see to make you feel comfortable, make you feel seen, but also meet your spiritual and emotional needs. To that end, as you know, I've mentioned to you a few times in the announcements that we are putting together a survey. And we're doing this because we really value your voice. Part of Roots is part of our culture here at Roots is we're a multi-voice community. We really want to hear from each other, and we want to take your thoughts into consideration. So we have this survey that we put together, and we are coming to you this morning just to give you kind of a 30,000-foot view, if you will, of kind of like what are the main things that we're looking at and holding in our minds. What are the main values that are important to us to make sure that we actually live into when we begin gathering in person, if we do that, or if we continue virtual services, like how do we continue living into our values? So we are going to go over some things that we were thinking about as we and the leadership team put this survey together, just so you can know kind of like I said, the main values. And those are like our theology. Theologically, what does it mean to gather? Why do we need to gather? Or why are we considering gathering at all? Also, what does it mean to be missional and love our neighbor and our community? What's the science and how do we honor science? And then also, what are our social and emotional needs that we need and that the church can, help fulfill, especially coming off of just a really trying season with this global pandemic. So Pastor TC is going to go over some things, and then I'm going to just share a little bit more about the survey and how you can participate and let your voice be heard.
That's right. As Pastor Oshita said, we are taking into consideration our theological values that we're rooted in as a community. We are a community of misfits, as you know, on a mission, finding identity in Jesus. Mm-hmm. And so, first and foremost, we exist as a body for one another and for our neighbors. Yeah. And so we want to be a community that is welcoming. We want to be a community that is inviting and serving our neighbors. And part of that is through our worship gatherings. That's part of our missional outreach. So we do want to think about that in the context of making decisions about in-person gatherings. At the same time, we also deeply value the fact that we have an embodied faith. We have a faith that is expressed through our social, emotional connection with one another. And so that's a consideration that we have to factor in when we make these kind of decisions. And we're also a community that believes that faith and science are not competitors. We want to be informed by the best guidelines and advice and counsel of public health experts, like our own Kirsten Morissette, who is the treasurer of our leadership team. And we have been in consultation with her. We have been asking her advice and counsel going forward. And we're planning to have an FAQ posted to the Roots community Facebook group with questions that we've asked her and her responses to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so those are the kind of the two big things that we're holding in our minds: our theology, and then our commitment to science. Science is real. We also know that there's a lot of emotional needs in our community right now that honestly, the best way to solve it is to be in community with each other. And so we are actually trying to think about how to enrich our community life, whether that is in-person gatherings. And so what do those gatherings look like that meet the needs of our congregation? Or if it's continuing to virtual gatherings and fleshing out and doing more of the journey groups, we're open to that too. So one thing I want you to know, when you open up this survey, there is no foregone conclusion. We have not made any decisions. Yeah. We want to know know what you want in for us to do, how you feel comfortable continuing to be a part of this congregation, this church life. I do want to say to you that there are some things that we really want to know more about. So one of the things that we want to know about is the size of your household or your household needs. So if you have children in your household, there'll be a space where you can share that kind of information with us, because we want to know, if we were to have in-person gatherings, how many children are going to be there, and how do we flesh that part of our ministry out. We also are interested in the vaccination rate, or in our church. Who is vaccinated? Who's planning on getting vaccinated? Who's decided not to do that? There's no shame. There's no agenda around that question. It really is truly informational. Like Kirsten told us, this kind of information helps us figure out the safety of our gatherings, the potential of having more people in the room, or the number of gatherings. Like, it just helps us kind of understand the nature of any kind of gatherings, if we understand, or if we know a percentage of misfits who are getting vaccinated. And of course, that question has a space where you can say you prefer not to answer, and that is totally okay as well. But truly, we really want to hear your voice. So we are asking you to, as soon as you can, as soon as the service is over, pop over, and after you've gone to prayer group, after you've gone to Zoom prayer, do the survey. One question you might ask is, are you answering the survey for yourself or for your household? We are going to ask that we have just one person from each household answer the survey. And there'll be space for you to kind of let us know the status or different things from the household in total. And then that way we'll be able to start thinking through what our summer is going to look like. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. It's going to be life-giving, and it's going to be an opportunity for us to grow in our identity in Jesus together. And it's going to be something that you're going to love and want to be a part of, because you had to say in it. So thanks so much for being our church. We love you.
Love you.
And take the survey.